Welcome back. Let's look at 2024 now with regards to entertainment. Yes, we have to talk entertainment because in these times of just sorrow and poverty and sakwa, like we like to say in Nigeria, right, entertainment is one of the few things that keeps us just going. You know, I mean, I know football used to be that, and AFCON is coming up in January, but most people have seen that team list and are not feeling very confident right now about the Super Eagles, but we'll talk about the Super Eagles much later. I'm joined here now by PoliticsToday Damilare David, who's the founding partner and editor of Shock NG. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Luca.
2024, let's start with music, of course, and this is the first year it feels like we're storming the Grammys. I think we have about 5 or 6 Nigerians who are nominated. Burna Boy with 4, Davido with 3, then there's Ashake and Olamide, yes, Ira Star. I think Fireboy as well has writing credits or something. So yes, there's going to be they will feel it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Davido says. What are you feeling about, you know, where Afrobeat is heading in the new year? Well, I had a guest, I think last week, or 2 weeks ago, saying that Afrobeat had a good year in 2023, right, but it felt like we didn't have like a calm down or a, you know, Whiskey and Thames, you know, we didn't have that song,
right? Like a summer song.
Do you agree with that?
So it's interesting that you said that, because right now most of our exports in terms of music are how do we make this a global success? How do we make sure every club and every outing or every stage in the, you know, in the most entertaining places are singing Afrobeat or using Afrobeat as their playlist? And for last year, right, we had a song by, you know, Whiskey and Thames where it was everywhere, right? People were playing it all across the summer. But for this year, we had most of the hits coming in from collaborations, and most of the hits were like, okay, we want to take it to a step further in terms of let's change the music a bit. Let's not just do piano. Let's all do some other genre and get the songs and also audiences coming in to listen to Afrobeat. And I think most of the artists too as well were also conscious of how do we make sure we're not looking at our local base, because it's importance of once your music is, you know, it goes viral, how do you make sure we are connecting both to the African audience and also to the global audience? So we're seeing a little bit of how do we make sure we're staying in balance, and hopefully in 2024 we get to see much more collaborations in terms of international artists here, and also for the African artists as well, in terms of Ghana, Kenya, and, you know, South Africa. How do we make sure we all come together to make songs that can be exported from Africa to the world? And that's just it.
Whiskey dropped a surprise EP a few days ago. not bad at all, because nobody saw that coming. He had a tough year, of course, with his mom's passing, so nobody was expecting anything. And then we saw the Whiskey and Davido hangouts that has got everybody talking.
Yes.
Do you think we'll finally see that? I don't know what word to call it. Something from the both of them, because they seemed really happy. And Davido tweeted, "I'm tired of hitting. I'm 31. At this point, why am I still dragging anything?" You know, which makes sense to a lot of people. Do you think we're going to start seeing, you know, the so-called big three that everybody has sort of pitted against each other, maybe for the first time, try to do something?
To be honest, I think a big collaboration with the big three might come the next 2 years or 3 years, because I feel that I think these guys have sort of like gotten to near their peak. And you can see most of them are now reaching down to bring up new artists and new talent to be able to, you know, break out into new audiences. So to get to a point whereby we have to see these guys as one, and they have to make a song or a music to, you know, stamp their authority and stamp their recognition of, oh, we've done so well for the Nigerian music industry. The only way we can, you know, cross to the next milestone is let's come together to make a song. And of course, the music video is going to be bonkers, because whenever that song comes out, hopefully, it's going to be huge stuff.
Let me put you on the spot a bit. Looking at that best African category at the Grammys, right?
Right.
It's Davido versus Burna versus Ira Star versus Ashake. Who do you think has it?
Okay. That's a very
And of course, there's Tyler from South Africa, but
yes. So Tyler blew from, you know, the huge TikTok. Yeah, from TikTok to global top charts, from top 3, top 5. And you could clearly see that distribution is also now changing, where if you have a hit on TikTok, it goes miles. It changes everything. It changes everything. Tyler's song was probably recorded maybe 2 years ago, and in 2023, it's in. If you open TikTok like this, it's make me that is coming up. But back to your question. To be honest, I think Burna is going to have it again, because I think he has stuck with the voting categories, because it's people that vote for these awards, right? And the more sort of like you've won this type of awards, the higher your chances of you winning it again. But who knows? Ashake or Ayasta, who knows?
We wish them all the best. At least there's no Angelique Kidjo this year.
right.
So we can breathe a bit. Before we move on to Nollywood, I want to ask one final question about music, and the award shows. We have all these award shows. I mean, two definitely stand out: the Headies and I think a Freema to an extent. Yeah. But they've all now left the shores of Nigeria, and we have to watch them from here, do all of these things in Houston or wherever it is they have these awards. Do you think that strategy is working? And also, we had Olisa Adibua here. We all know who Olisa Adibua is, and he was talking about the fact that the Nigerian Music Awards, which has rested for a while, might be coming back because he is now a huge part of that. And I think that the name alone, Nigerian Music Awards, makes sense. Do you think Nigerian awards have started getting back to that point where artists appreciate it? We saw Rema's speech last year, which a lot of us appreciated. Yes. Where he says, if we celebrate the others, why can't I be here to accept this and celebrate it as well? And like I said, is the moving abroad strategy working? You think it's a good idea? Okay, so when we've been having this argument back and forth of how do we move an award that recognizes Nigerian talent to the US and have international hosts? And then the argument is that, we want more exposure. We want more people to be able to access other types of products aside from, Burna Boy and the big three. But then again, I think that strategy needs to be tweaked a bit because we're now feeling alienated from the Headies. We're feeling like, the Headies is this Sunday, and most people don't even know what's going on because there's not like when you're on ground decision from when you're market. So I think the strategy needs to be tweaked. I understand the business argument of we want to host the best live shows, we want other international artists to come on stage and present awards to our local artists because of course there's brand value in that. But then again, we just have to find a balance of how do we not alienate home base? How do we make sure we bring along audiences that have been with us from day zero and bring them up to find them seeing our glory and then seeing the recognition that we truly deserve. So it needs to be tweaked a bit just to make sure that we're not alienating fans here in Nigeria. Let's move on now to Nollywood. And, a lot of people are saying that Nollywood is probably where music was 6 years ago, at that cusp of, becoming this, global phenomenon. We saw what Black Book did. Whatever you feel about the movie, it broke records, and the president even had to tweet about it.
Right.
Looking at what streaming is doing now in the industry, a lot of people have said the cinemas are suffering. And we kind of saw that through the year. Not a lot was said about how much was made by a lot of movies until December now, when we're starting to see these crazy numbers again. Of course, it's the holidays, families are out again. Streaming is changing the game, of course, with quality. Yes. But is it killing cinema, you think?
So whenever I have conversations with filmmakers and exhibitor execs, they always tell me that there's going to be a balance between cinemas and streaming platforms because both are distribution for products, and we now finally have the opportunities because 5 years ago, whenever a filmmaker makes a film, it's always you either go to the box office or you lock it in your hard drive. But now we're seeing that there's opportunities, from Netflix, Prime Video, and Showmax coming into the market. You can make a film and you have 5 different options on your table. So for the industry, yes, the movies that have gone to cinemas are not doing well, and that's because of the consumer spending. There's a cash crunch in the economy. Very People true. Are saving, like entertainment budget has nothing. So it's because of the consumer spending, not just because the distribution platform is not pushing as much as they should. Yeah. But I think the points that I want to mention is that right now there is an indirect collaboration or cohesion between two factors, and let me explain. So Funke Akindele during November was acquired. Prime Video acquired a series called She Must Be Obeyed. Billboards were plastered all over different key states in the country, and then she has a movie that comes out by December. I feel that during my analysis, there's a correlation between you plastering Funke Akindele's billboard during 1 month before her film comes out to the success that she's having now. She's having close to 650 million naira at the box office. That marketing budget from Prime Video on She Must Be Obeyed, where they are doing billboards, TV, radios, sort of like has translated into the box office gains, which was seen because Funke is doing crazy numbers right now. 650 million naira in less than how many 3 weeks that she's been in cinemas, and she's gone in for the 1 billion record which Black Panther set a couple of years ago. So it's very interesting, and you can clearly see that there's a symbiotic relationship. It might not be much, or it might not be equal opportunities across all filmmakers, but you can see that there's a cohesion between what the streaming platforms are trying to do with the products that they're also trying to create with creators and talent that are also going to cinemas. But we also have to be very, very careful, because there's now sort of like a super producer type of tag where you see Mohamudu, who hasn't been to the cinemas for the past 3 years now because she has a deal with Netflix. And we hope that those type of people do not just abandon cinemas. They also come back and make products for big screen, just to be able to find a balance between streaming and cinemas. And hopefully our consumer spending or our saving or the economy maybe boost up a little bit, such that the cinemas bounce back outside of the December window. Because right now it seems like as if December is the sweet hot pie where everybody wants to make money. But hopefully the January and November window, we have products that do well, and December doesn't become an outlier.
Yeah. Two-part question now. What do you think of it's been happening all December, the Funke Akindele versus Tony Abraham versus Mercy Aigbe thing with all their movies? I think Malaika,
Adam Modadi
and Tribe Called Judah, you know. And the second part is, are women going to be the ones who do this for Nollywood? Because these 3 people I mentioned now are women. I'm hearing, or it looks like, at least from her page so far, Kemi Adetiba might be dropping something next year.
Yes.
Moa Budu might be dropping something next year. Jade Oshibere has an ongoing deal with Prime Video.
Yes.
Are women going to be the ones who do this?
Absolutely. Women have always been at the forefront of entertainment here in Nigeria. Like all the names you mentioned are women, because those ones have pushed and tested the limits of their creativity, and also from the business perspective of it. So I want to reference the 3 race that's currently happening at the box office. I think that's super interesting, because Mercy Aigbe is a new power player that wants to break into the box office, and her coming in during December with a distributor who is also sort of like new in the level playing field, and also doing interesting numbers. 100 million under 14 days is not bad. It's absolutely an incredible achievement. And then of course you have Tony Abraham, who has also been doing this for the past 4 years, and also is breaking her own records, because for her, she feels that anytime I come to the box office or have a box office outing, I have to make sure I do better than the last outing. So I think right now, those 3 products, A Tribe Called Judah, Malaika, and Adam Modadi, are bringing admission levels that are way better than 2022, 2019, and that's a good thing. And then we also now finally have a new member of the super producers, like we say, where it's not just Funke and Tony. We also now have Mercy Aigbe, who, if she comes to the box office the next 1 year or 2 years, she might also pull some interesting numbers as well. So there's options, there's alternatives, and it's a win-win for the industry.
Yeah. Is streaming quality where you think it should be? We had a few misses this year, if we're being honest. We don't need to mention the names.
Right.
It looks like the quality visually is amazing. A lot of people can't stop talking about Breath of Life and just how visually stimulating it was. Same thing with The Black Book, even Blood Vessel. I mean, I think you watch some of these movies and because it's not necessarily shot in Lagos, it gives you a different feel of Nigeria. Some people say they're tired of seeing the bridge in every film, you know. So on that level, it looks like things are great, but people are still not very sort of satisfied with how we weave our stories or our script writing and all of that. Is that on us or on the streaming guys?
Interesting. So let me start by saying that for the better part of 6 to 5 years, Nollywood producers haven't been strong in terms of developing their stories for a long while. It has always been, let's take this to market in the first or second draft. But I think that's going to change now, because right now, everybody is looking at, if I make a movie for streaming platforms, how do I make sure that this film goes global? And it all depends on how good or how well did you do your story development phase. And it's not just, this composition or this visual looks great, your cinematography is off the charts. It now moves beyond, the elements of cinematography and what type of camera did you use or what type of crane shots did you use. It now moves beyond what type of story are you telling? What are the elements that carry the story that is strong enough that people would watch it no matter where they are from? And I think back to your question, right now, streamers are still in the early stages of them entering the market, to be honest. They are not yet up to like maybe 5 to 6 years in terms of commissioning and licensing. So, of course, there's going to be misses.
They're still testing the waters.
They're still testing the waters. In the next 5 years, hopefully, their executives are hired more, and then they also understand the market more, and they also trust the producers more to be able to deliver world-class stories and also have time, right, to develop stories, because there's now more budget and then there's now more optimism for the Nollywood industry.
I think we're all looking forward to 2024. Like I said, if the economy and politics is knocking our heads, entertainment will always be the one that hopefully keeps us going, and looking forward to all the things that entertainment has to offer. Thanks a lot for joining us today on the show. We're going to move on now to our next guest online.
Send me some reaction, I just wanna girl, I like the way you move, really wanna get with you. Don't just stand there teasing me, now it's time to show and prove.